For this video, I'll be doing a complete refurb on this 1985 Suteki 12. I'm also thinking about converting the original drop bars to more of a combination cyclocross, gravel, and cafe cruiser style, which will provide better visibility in traffic and a more relaxed upright posture, making the bike ideal for commuting, city riding, long gravel rides, or just thrashing around some cyclocross track. Anyway, Suteki was part of the glory years when drop bar road bikes were all of the rage, and department stores like Sears couldn't keep them on the shelves even at the $500 price point that this bike originally sold for. This Suteki bike definitely wasn't of the caliber of Bianchi or Miata from the same time period, but that really didn't matter for riders who were just looking for a good quality, mid-level recreational bike. Apparently, Suteki was actually a Panasonic brand. Not only was Panasonic known for good quality electronics, but seems they were also into building road bikes like this one too. The bike came to me in very good original condition, probably most likely due to it being stored indoors, as there was no rust on the bike and the seat post was easily removed from the frame. So I'll get going on cleaning up the frame and completing paint touch-ups. The Sun Made in Canada wheels cleaned up nicely and have solid axles, meaning bolts hold the wheel in place rather than quick releases, which were common on higher-end racing bikes of the time. Solid axles kept the cost of the bike down, and I guess the target audience of these department store bikes being recreational riders didn't need to make fast wheel changes during a race, so solid axles worked fine. The bottom bracket and headset have been cleaned and repacked with fresh grease. There's nothing on the frame indicating what type of tubing the bike was built with, other than a sticker on the front fork saying tough, light steel. But the seat tube diameter is usually a pretty good indicator of what type of tubing was actually used. 26.8 millimeters and above usually indicates higher quality chromo butted tubing, where plain gauge chromo is usually in the 26.2 to 26.8 millimeter range, and anything under 26.2 millimeters is typically high tensile steel. In my case, the seat tube is 25.8 millimeters, which is not a very common size, so most likely this frame is high tensile steel tubing. The head badge is interesting, as it's actually just a sticker, and another indication of department store bike quality. The components on the bike certainly are not top of the line, but the Shimano Skylark derailleur provided decent, reliable shifting, and notably the Skylark derailleur was Shimano's breakthrough into the North American derailleur market, introduced in 1967. Also interesting are the steel Tsujino cranks that were installed on the bike, versus alloy cranks that were common on road bikes during the same time period. The steel cranks were less expensive to manufacture, but definitely were more durable than alloy cranks. So I've got the cranks and the derailleurs installed. As I mentioned earlier, I'm thinking of giving this bike a cafe cruiser vibe, so I'll replace the alloy drop bars and stem with this top loader stem and these cool Bontrager bars. To make the bike even more versatile, I'll switch out the gum wall tires to these Kenda K161 Cross Cyclo tires. The knobby chevron tread tires change up the bike from mainly just a pavement road bike to a bike that will perform well on pavement, hard-packed dirt, gravel, and even in light mud, offering good traction for mixed terrain riding. Well, I think the new tires look pretty good. Anyway, as I'm planning to reuse the Chang Star Deluxe side pole brakes, I have a nice set of short pole Ritchey Logic levers from my parts bin, which I think will work great for this build. The brakes are straightforward to install by inserting the shaft through the frame and then tightening the 10mm self-locking bolt from behind. And then I'll install the brake levers using an 8mm hex wrench, leaving enough room for the grips to be installed later. Next, I'll go ahead and cut some cable housing to size and install the brake cable. And then I'll go ahead and do the same thing for the rear brakes. With the brakes installed, I'll go ahead and wire up the shifters. The bike is shifting great. As I mentioned, with the new more aggressive tread tires installed, this bike is now much more than just a road bike. By dropping the tire pressure down to 35 psi in the rear and 30 psi in the front, the bike is ready to take on a cyclocross track for an experienced rider. Or crank the tire pressure to 65 to 70 psi and take on whatever gravel rough terrain you want to throw at it for all-day riding fun. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.